Most people secretly believe their suffering is visible. They hold on to a subtle fantasy that if they just hurt enough, someone will intervene. It's a deep-seated hope, often learned in childhood, that if you're in pain, the world will care. But then life happens. Your pain goes unseen, your tears go unnoticed, and your calls go unanswered. That's when the illusion shatters. You realize that this isn't a reflection of your worth, but of how engrossed everyone is in their own battles. Everyone is fighting something you can't see, just as they can't fully see yours. If your sense of self is built on being seen by others, you will inevitably feel invisible. That quiet ache of being overlooked, it's not an act of malice, it's just the way things are. And if you look closely, this reality is trying to teach you something essential. When we're young, we believe pain deserves a reward. We think that if we suffer, comfort is owed to us. But the truth is, life doesn't give out medals for endurance. It doesn't send angels when you're on your knees, it just moves on. People continue with their lives. Friends forget to check in. Strangers keep scrolling, not because they're cruel, but because they are preoccupied with their own issues. This might sound harsh, but it's an honest appraisal. And here's the profound twist. This difficult realization is the first step toward freedom. The moment you stop expecting the world to respond to your pain, you stop waiting. You stop freezing your life, hoping someone will notice you're stuck. You begin to move forward for reasons that have nothing to do with applause. As Carl Jung once said, the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. But he didn't mention that the world often asks, not because it cares, but to put you in a convenient box. They don't see you. They see a predetermined idea of you. When you stop performing for that gaze, you finally start living for something real. The power of being unseen. There's a certain sorrow in realizing you're not the main character in anyone else's story. But it's not a rejection. It's simply a fact. No one owes you understanding, and no one is required to guide you through your struggles. While this can make the world feel colder, it ignites an inner fire. Because now, you are the one lighting the way. You no longer wait for someone to interpret your silence. You stop hoping that your quiet breakdown will be noticed and fixed by a compassionate stranger. You understand now, and that changes everything. The disappointment that once stung becomes clarity. And clarity is the first genuine form of freedom. This is where the Stoics found their strength, not by avoiding pain, but by refusing to let others be in charge of their healing. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. In other words, stop hoping someone will see your wounds and assign you worth. The more you focus on being seen, the less you see yourself. You become noise in someone else's life rather than a signal in your own. But when you finally let go of the need for others to witness your suffering, you start building something unbreakable. You're not harder, you're simply clearer. You begin to see how much of your identity was shaped by the need for validation. And you realize that people's lack of care doesn't mean you're unworthy. It just means they are human, flawed, and overwhelmed, just like you. The goal was never to be seen. It was to wake up to the fact that you are always the witness. You have been the only one living inside your mind, the sole observer of your thoughts. This is not a curse. It's a gift. Because it means you and only you have the power to change your story.